is the QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Lolly M. Kamara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. In a key development in the ongoing acute kidney injury civil trial, the Banjul High Court has granted the state permission to call an additional witness, namely the former Director of Health Services, Dr. Mustafa Bitey. The Director General of the State Intelligence Service, SIS, Usman Sow, held a press briefing on Friday to share insights from his recently concluded nationwide security assessment tour. The Ministry of Health, Water, Sanitation and Hygiene WAS unit convened a coordination meeting to review progress, assess existing gaps and outline strategic steps for improving program across the country. In international news, China has called for greater international support for West Africa and the Sahel amid rising terrorism, calling for stronger local capacity and improved regional cooperation to secure lasting stability. In sports news, Senegal reaffirmed its dominance over the Gambia in sports with a 1-0 victory in the semi-finals of the African Schools Football Championship. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. In a key development in the ongoing acute kidney injury civil trial, the Banjul High Court has granted the state permission to call an additional witness, namely the former Director of Health Services, Dr. Mustafa Bitey. More in this story by Mam Nabuka, with court reporting by Nicholas Bass of the Voice newspaper.
At this week's hearing, presiding Judge Ibrahim Jaite ruled in favor of the state's request, despite objections from the plaintiff's counsel Yasin Senghor. Counsel Senghor argued that the move will prejudice her clients, who are families of 19 children who died of acute kidney injury AKI, allegedly due to the consumption of contaminated cough syrups, part of a larger AKI outbreak. Counsel Senghor accused the state of introducing new evidence late in the trial. She insisted the defense should have submitted all the names of their witnesses and their statements at once, and urged the court to dismiss the request. After hearing both parties, the presiding judge said that state lawyer Okete, representing the state, had sufficient and compelling grounds to warrant the grant of leave to call an additional witness. Therefore, Justice Jaite ordered for the witness statement of Dr. Mustafa Bitey, dated 3rd November 2025, to be deemed as properly filed. The court found the state had sufficient and compelling grounds to call Dr. Bitey, who was health director at the time of the AKI crisis and now serves as chief medical director. This provision vests in the court a wide discretionary power to admit and allow additional evidence where the interest of justice so requires, Justice Jaite said. The judge noted that Senghor's objection lacked a formal affidavit and emphasized that Dr. Bitey's testimony could provide crucial clarification on the state's role in the tragedy. The plaintiffs are suing Maiden Pharmaceuticals, Atlantic Pharmaceuticals, the Medical Control Agency, the Ministry of Health, and the Attorney General, claiming regulatory failures led to the deaths of their children. The trial continues now with Dr. Bitey officially added as a key witness in the state's defense. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
The Director General of the State Intelligence Service, SIS, Usman Sow, held a press briefing on Friday to share insights from his recently concluded nationwide security assessment tour. Mam Nabuka again.
The nationwide security assessment tour in October spanned 3 weeks covering all regions of the Gambia. DG Sow engaged with regional authorities, local leaders, security actors, community members, and key institutions including the National Human Rights Commission, the University of the Gambia, and the Supreme Islamic Council. The tour aimed to boost interagency collaboration, strengthen the National Security Belt Initiative, which seeks to enhance border security, and build public trust through community engagement. The initiative reflects the transformation of the country's intelligence agency from the feared politically repressive National Intelligence Agency of the Jammeh era to the reformed rights-focused State Intelligence Service operating with democratic oversight. DG Sow shared key findings and overall feedback from the tour.
The general assessment of the tour revealed that a general atmosphere of calm and stability exists across the country. Local communities and regional authorities and stakeholders calling for improvement and expedition of security legislations and bills to enhance the overall national security posture. Community feedback indicated a growing trust in the SIS in particular and the security fraternity in general.
On the continuous institutional strengthening of the SIS, DG Sow shed light on how the institution's reform agendas, with an emphasis on capacity building, enhancement of security operations, reliable intelligence products, and international domestic cooperation, has repurposed its image.
8 years on, we are generally out of the woods and very clear-eyed, if you like it that way, and laser focus on carrying out our reforms and strengthening the national security environment. Many residents openly acknowledge past misconceptions about the intelligence service and expressing their profound appreciation for the current reforms of the SIS and commitment to human-centered national security dimensions.
DG Sow also highlighted some of the challenges they face and their plans to address them.
The misinformation, the disinformation, the malinformation is a constant on the cyberspace, and intelligence services cannot afford to be beaten in this race. We are already aligned, but we will be more aligned, and we will aspire to become better at all times, because the challenges are not going to get lesser. We as a service needs to be ahead of things, to be better and stronger at all times.
The SIS Director General revealed that the tour report will soon be finalized, with internal insights used internally and information meant for external audiences disseminated accurately. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
The Ministry of Health's Water, Sanitation and Hygiene WASH unit recently convened a coordination meeting to review progress, assess existing gaps and outline strategic steps for improving water, sanitation and hygiene services across the country. More in this report. The two-day meeting gathers WASH stakeholders to assess progress towards set targets, pinpoint ongoing gaps in service delivery, and formulate practical recommendations to improve national WASH outcomes. It also seeks to strengthen collaboration among partners, fostering a more coordinated and effective approach to addressing WASH challenges. Musa Kamara, Regional Director for the Western One region, emphasized the critical role of collaborative efforts in maintaining and advancing positive outcomes within communities nationwide.
As Ministry of Health, we cannot do it alone. That's why we are partnering with you, and the knowledge and skills that is in this hall in regards to the expertise or caliber of people here would definitely pave the way as far as the overall objective of this important coordination meeting is concerned.
Lamin M. Fadera, Program Manager of the WASH unit, emphasized the pivotal role of coordination in enhancing sector performance. He noted that this year's discussions would focus specifically on improving data quality and utilization, which are essential for informed decision-making.
Data is one of the most critical things in any program that we are doing. And one of the key things in this coordination meeting is data. We are almost at the end of the year, so we really want to know from January to now, what are the implementation patterns with regards to water supply in this country, with regards to sanitation, and also hygiene promotion. So that as a unit, that's WASH unit at Ministry of Health, we will be able to compile this and inform policymakers with regards to our status in this sector.
Dr. Julia Widite, Child Survival and Development Manager at UNICEF The Gambia, praised stakeholders for their commitment and the progress achieved to date. She urged partners to sustain this momentum and deepen collective action to maximize impact in the years ahead. Representing the Ministry of Health, Aliou Sow encouraged participants to use the meeting as an opportunity to share experiences, learn from one another, and evaluate the sector's progress in fulfilling its commitments.
And willing to spend these 2 days to discuss what has been done and plan together the next steps. Please take these 2 days very, very seriously. Of course, I know you will, but I will want to encourage you again to do that.
Over the next 2 days, participants will hear updates and technical presentations from leading WASH sector actors, including the Department of Water Resources, United Purpose, and Child Fund Gambia, as they work together to chart a path toward improved water, sanitation, and hygiene services across the country. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara. We'll now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have national, international, and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
Browse with us. QCell brings you a promo like never before. Get unlimited internet for just $25. Yes! Recharge $25 and enjoy the convenience of free internet from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day with our Browse with Us promo. With this amazing offer, you can browse, stream, and download all your favorite movies for free. So why wait? Recharge $25 today and enjoy free internet only with QCell between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus, we innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. The National Environment Agency, NEA, on Thursday held a public hearing designed to promote transparency and strengthen public participation in environmental decision-making. More in this report. The public hearing offered residents of Bakau Newtown a platform to voice their views and concerns over the proposed sand dredging at Cape Point. The hearing aimed to guide decision-making on the project's future, giving developers a chance to hear community feedback firsthand and address concerns. It seeks to promote consultative, constructive, collaborative dialogue over confrontation, while underscoring the importance of environmental stewardship for current and future generations. Lamin Samate is the NEA's program manager.
Public hearing is a part of the EIA process, Environmental Impact Assessment process, wherein projects that are sensitive and there is a lot of public interest in it, you subject them to public hearing after, as part of the scrutiny. This project is a proposed dredging, sand dredging offshore around Cape Point area with a proposed landing site that's going to be somewhere at Old Cape Road Johnson, opposite the Nawek substation.
The discussions also involved beach bar operators, hoteliers, and bird watchers. Dauda Baji, NEA's Director General, stressed the importance of engaging all stakeholders to achieve a shared understanding of what is best for the country. Sekou Diba of the Bakau Environment Movement, Deputy Mayor Binta Jane Jallo, and Alaji Sane, CEO of Aladdin Health Aid Foundation, all shared their perspectives on the proposed project.
I'm very happy because if this project come to Bakau, it's gonna make many youths to have their self and work and get living. So the project also can discourage bad way because many people are dying in the sea, you can see.
The first consultation was done between us and the Alcalo, and then the environment experts was there, and they did their survey. We've met the experts, we've went around and see. So now it's left with the committee to hear from the public.
But with engagement, if youths are engaged, most of these issues will be at least minimized. So it is very welcoming, you know.
The NEA's public hearing marks a vital step in balancing development with environmental protection through inclusive and transparent participation. This approach demonstrates the agency's commitment to collaborative governance, legal compliance, and intergenerational responsibility, setting a positive precedent for future environmental decisions. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara. The Ministry of Health, in partnership with the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, on Thursday convened a forum to harmonize social and behavior change costing and scorecard tools for the Gambia. Yafatu Gay has more.
Social and Behavior Change, SBC, is a strategic evidence-based approach that seeks to understand and influence community behaviors by using engagement, behavioral insights, communication strategies, and social non-interventions to improve health outcomes. During the event, findings from the SBC assessments conducted in the Gambia and Sierra Leone were shared, revealing strong community trust structures, but persistent gaps in data use, coordination, and planning. Addressing these challenges is expected to boost demand for essential health services, including immunization. Africa CDC Regional Director Dr. Kuku Alino emphasized the critical role of proper planning, budgeting, and data-driven decision-making in strengthening disease control and health security.
Where you have a program and you don't have a plan, you don't have budget, you don't know where you are going. So this exercise is very, very key. And they just presented the funding from the assessment in terms of planning, costing for SBC capacity at country level. Gambia is one of the countries we chose in West Africa. And I'm happy that we made the good choice.
The forum represented a key milestone in enhancing the Gambia's capacity to plan, finance, and sustain effective social and behavior change interventions. This initiative is part of a broader Africa CDC effort to institutionalize SBC financing across member states, including the creation of a consolidated costing tool and collaborations with ministries to embed SBC into national budgets. Yusuf Ature is the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Health.
It's one thing to have data, but are you getting the right data? So if you don't prepare that data collection process, you are not going to get the right data.
In light of the Gambia's recent outbreaks, including Mpox, yellow fever, and coronavirus, officials highlighted that improved SBC tools and stronger data systems will bolster emergency preparedness, enhance disease response, and improve overall community health outcomes. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafat Gay.
Coming up next is international news. China has called on the international community to increase support for West Africa and the Sahel amid rising terrorism and armed conflict. emphasizing the need for stronger local capacity and enhanced regional cooperation to ensure lasting stability. Usman Jatta reports from Beijing, China.
West Africa and the wider Sahel region are facing one of their most difficult periods in recent years, from repeated abductions and killings in northern Nigeria to the unending conflict in Sudan. At the UN Security Council debate on peace consolidation in West Africa and the Sahel, China's Deputy Permanent Representative Zhang Shuang warned that the region's deteriorating security situation demands urgent, coordinated action. Zhang urged West African and Sahel nations to strengthen counter-terrorism and security forces, called for more support for regional bodies, and backed full implementation of Resolution 2719 to fund AU-led peacekeeping.
For a long time, China has supported capacity building and counter-terrorism operations in West Africa and Sahel countries through the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation and the China-UN Peace and Development Fund, which has been widely welcomed by countries in the region. Guided by the Global Security Initiative and Global Development Initiative, China will work with the rest of the international community to strengthen counter-terrorism cooperation in West Africa and the Sahel region, making greater contributions to maintaining peace and security in this region and throughout Africa.
According to the 2025 Global Terrorism Index, 5 of the 10 countries most affected by terrorism are in the Sahel. The region accounts for 19% of global terrorist incidents and more than half of terrorism-related deaths worldwide. U.S. President Donald Trump recently urged the Nigerian government to take urgent action against alleged attacks on Christians.
I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. These are cherished people. These are great people. Leave them alone. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast before it's too late.
Amid reports of abductions, President Bola Tinubu rejected Donald Trump's designation of Nigeria, reaffirming the nation's commitment to democracy and religious freedom. At the same time, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres highlighted rising regional instability, urging increased international support focused on strengthening regional cooperation, expanding humanitarian aid, and promoting sustainable development to tackle the root causes of insecurity. Osman Jatta, QTV News, Beijing, China.
Now to sports news. Senegal's dominance over the Gambia in almost all aspects of sports, football particular, shows no sign of ending. This was confirmed by their latest 1-0 win in the semi-final of the African Schools Football Championship. Our sports reporter Mamadou Gajaga was monitoring, and he now reports.
It was a highly competitive game with a place in the final at stake, and given the history between the two countries in football, the Senegambia derby, as it is known, did not disappoint. As well as playing for a place in the final, there was also pride in dominating your rival. At the final whistle, Senegal had defeated the Gambia 1-0 earlier on Friday at the Gambino Stars Africa Park in Mandinaring village to seal a place in the finals of the African School Football Championship. Senegal took a first-half lead against the run of play when the hosts were having a good run with possession, control, and attacking with intensity. Both teams were flying high after great performances in the group phase. Gambia thrashed Mauritania 5-0 before a 2-0 win against Guinea-Bissau in the boys category. Senegal, on the other hand, destroyed Liberia 7-0 before drawing 0-0 with Guinea. They will face Guinea in Friday's final. Senegal further cemented their dominance, winning their group tie 1-0 against the Gambia in the girls category. The winners of both competitions get to play at next year's continental final. In the playoff for the third and fourth place, the Gambia beat Mauritania 4-2 on penalties after a 0-0 draw. The finalists are set to battle for the Wafu A crown on Friday, the 28th of November. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
And here is an update on the tournament. In the final played late this afternoon, Guinea beat Senegal 5-4 on penalties after the match ended 0-0 in regulation time. Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. In a key development in the ongoing acute kidney injury civil trial, the Banjul High Court has granted the state permission to call an additional witness, namely the former Director of Health Services, Dr. Mustafa Bitey. The Director General of the State Intelligence Service, SIS, Usman Sow, held a press briefing on Friday to share insights from his recently concluded nationwide security assessment tour. The Ministry of Health, Water, Sanitation and Hygiene WASH unit convened a coordination meeting to review progress, assess existing gaps, and outline strategic steps for improving programs across the country. In international news, China has called for greater international support for West Africa and the Sahel amid rising terrorism, calling for stronger local capacity and improved regional cooperation to secure lasting stability. In sports news, Senegal reaffirmed its dominance over the Gambia in sports with a 1-0 victory in the semi-finals of the African Schools Football Championship. That's all for this bulletin. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.